Strive for improvement, time for the blueprint. Mindset elevate, thrive and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Only scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up, let's grow.
Guys, welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. I'm your host, Willie Rodriguez. And today, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun. We have two individuals here. What is your positions?
Territory sales managers.
Territory sales managers. We have two from Greenworks, guys, commercial, which is all electric outdoor maintenance equipment, lawn equipment. So I am excited. We have Bryan over here to my right, and we have Erin over here to my left. So, guys, hold on tight. We've been waiting for a company to come on to really bring that edge of electricity to the table. You've heard me on other podcasts, especially the one with Keyscape, that we got interrupted by someone with a blower and a lawnmower that was super loud right in our ears. And we were talking about electric. So here we go, guys. Today is the day we're going to hear everything that they bring to the table, everything for the future. So hold on tight. Guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
All the way from Orlando. Where'd you come from?
Thank you so much for having us. West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Yep. So these guys have drove down, and girl, have drove down to be able to do this podcast today. So I'm going to let you guys take it from here. I want to just start off with the company. What is the company? What is their motto? What are they trying to do for the industry? And then let's go into products, and we'll continue going from there.
Sure. So Greenworks as a company is, like we said, all
you can introduce
product.
yourself. Introduce yourself first.
Yeah, I'm Bryan Lloyd. I cover Central Florida for Greenworks Commercial. Been in the industry for about 15 years, working with all aspects of outdoor power equipment. I started in customer service a long time ago, worked my way through inside sales, through the outside channels, through both mass retail and dealer business. Really have always loved working with dealers and end users.
Okay.
Came down to Florida recently.
You're from Ohio.
I am. I'm from Ohio. Yep. I spent most of my career up there working in the gas industry. Okay. So switching over to battery has been a really interesting change for me.
You're on the dark side now. What about you?
Side.
The light side. There we go.
I'm a little less experienced. I've been in this industry about 2 to 3 years. I actually started with a different battery manufacturer and moved over to Greenworks like a year and a couple months ago. But it's been a great ride so far. It's an amazing industry with lots and lots of opportunity, and we're constantly seeing the conversation change over from guys that are strictly gas over to now being a little bit more curious for trying out electric stuff. Yeah.
What is, now that we're talking about that real quick, what are the benefits that you see in regards to someone wanting to switch over from gas to electric, let's say starting off?
The number one thing, especially in my territory, I cover South Florida pretty much. So Orlando south to Miami and the Keys is noise. Noise is so huge, and a lot of it is HOA driven. We have a lot of high end HOAs down here, and they want quiet. They want peace. They don't want to be disturbed. Like the best landscapers are the ones, they don't hear and they don't see, but the yard still looks, immaculate. So that's kind of the number one driver down here is the noise.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Noise and cost of ownership.
Noise
is, I'm Central Florida market, so I live in the heart of a resort world everywhere, and those guys, they're being driven that the guests don't want to hear a backpack blower at 7 a.m. So yeah, the noise is a huge factor. Cost of ownership is really good too. It was one of the more eye-opening things as I came over from the gas industry too, is there is no doubt, and we talk about this with all the customers and the dealers, battery is an investment up front, without a doubt. We're always going to be more than a gas mower. But when you look at the long-term ownership of the equipment, it's really amazing how much it can save you.
Wow. Yeah, for someone running their lawnmowers every day, let's say realistically 5 hours, 6 hours a day, because there's 8 hours to 9 hours of work time, but you're not running it the whole time. You got to drive to where you're going to cut and all that stuff. You guys have fixed the problem of the batteries lasting most of the day?
Yeah,
because I know
absolutely.
That's a big issue.
Yeah, rider space, what's really cool is we've not only fixed the ability to have it run all day in both stand-on and sit-down ride-on equipment, but we've gotten to the point that it's so so strong for all day that you can actually tailor it down in some places. Like we're actually even changing some of our needs to give more midday options for people, which saves a lot in the price points.
Midday hour, explain. What does that mean?
4 or 5 hours in your mower, things like that, rather than going for the full 8-hour mower, because it's interesting down here, especially we're seeing crews come back on their 8-hour mower and they still have that 30% or so left in the mowers. So if you can create, better upfront pricing that maybe is less kilowatts, so you are that 5-hour mower and you're truly running it all the way to the end of the day, you're saving a lot of money for somebody. Or with the large battery units, the 24 and the 36 kilowatt units, you have some interesting options to use that other power elsewhere, whether it's from on-rider battery charging for your handheld equipment. We have attachments that can fit blowers on the front end of your stand-ons and your sit-downs, so you're given, multi-tool options for those riders. That was one of the coolest things when I came over from gas is technology breeds like opportunity. So when you look at how much more technologically forward the battery equipment is capable of being, you can get a lot more creative with how you use it.
Okay, so that's interesting. So you guys can play with the amount of time. So basically, you guys would be asking whoever reaches out, what does your day look like?
First thing.
Absolutely.
First thing.
Yep.
And then you guys tailor something that works for them at that time.
Yes.
Me, I'm a person that I always tell people, they're like, oh, I'm looking to get a 24-foot trailer, Willie, what do you think? Or a 16-foot trailer. And I tell them, get the 24, get the 30, because you're going to need it. So I would be someone that I wouldn't work in your guys' sales. I would lose a lot of sales because I would want to sell them the biggest battery possible because I want to push them to be able to believe in themselves and know that they can run the machine all day. They're going to get that much work. But for you guys, it's tailoring the price point to make it to where they have already existing routes that they can cut all day. And if they need extra power, they can then buy an extra battery that can charge, or you can add to the mower. Is that how that works throughout the day?
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. It's really about kind of finding the right fit for your overall need for the business, because we make a 36-inch stand-on, which is designed to get you in and out of your gates, all those types of small HOA neighborhoods. That's an 8-kilowatt unit, so it's only designed to be a 4-hour mower, whereas a large frame stand-on that's 52, 60 inches, those will run all day. So it's a combination of needs and costs and things like that. When you have someone looking to put an investment into electric, you really want to make sure you answer all their questions more than sell them something, because even all the way down to how you charge your equipment, because that's going to really kind of focus in on making sure it fits all the needs.
Okay, are these some that you want to charge on like a 220?
Yes, ideally.
Ideally,
yes. You don't
so
have
you actually
to,
get a full charge by the next day.
Yeah.
Because the 110 won't charge it in one day.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is more or less like a 220, you'll do your mower in 7-8 hours, whereas if you get it on a 110, you're going to be like 13 hours,
it takes
14
a lot
hours. So you think about like if you end your day at a certain time, you want to be ready the next morning to go. So that's why the 220 is going to be ideal.
Okay. The cost of the fuel versus electric. This is something, guys, you guys that are listening, you guys know that for A's, we purchased a Tesla, and it was very eye-opening for what the fuel was for one guy that was buying plants all around town all day. He was fueling up every day. Just in the fuel, the cost of the fuel was about $900 a month. We were able to buy him a Tesla, pay for it monthly, insurance, and fit in the tire rotations, because that's the only service it has.
Yeah.
And it's less. We pay around $750. So I know that the upfront cost might be a little bit more, but what does it cost to charge a lawnmower?
What's really cool that we offer is on our website, anyone can download this and look at this on the Greenworks commercial website. There's a tool you can use. And there's an example of it in that book too, where it will let you choose your zip code where you live. It'll put in the average gas price for your neighborhood, as well as the energy cost for your neighborhood.
Okay.
And you can put in factors, what are you paying on a monthly basis for maintenance and things like that. It'll calculate all this stuff out. So it'll show you calculations for the long-term cost of ownership, so you can see your true savings.
Wow. But the difference, like our Tesla charges with and this is a Tesla, so it's a big car, and it has bigger batteries than the lawnmowers, I'm assuming. It charges with $5 to $6.
Oh, yeah.
Is more or less right where we're at, sometimes $7. No, No, we're like at
Full charge
$6. From 30% to 80,
30%,
we're like at
$6.
$6.
Mine was like $7, $8 full charge.
$6 to $8. Hold on,
Yeah.
my bad. So our Tesla, when we charge it, it charges with around $6 to $8, and this is a vehicle, a car. What does something like that cost in the lawnmower? We're looking at $4 or $5.
Oh, less than that. Usually you're less than $2. It depends fully on where you're at and everything like that, but usually it's between $1.50 and $2.
Okay, let's round it up to $5. Let's go double,
sure.
right? Let's go double for the person on the other side. Guys, you can charge your lawnmower for $5 and it lasts all day. What is the equivalent in gas?
A lot. I mean, most guys are spending easily $100 a day in gas.
On a mower.
Yeah.
Per mower. So gallons, what are we looking at? 30 gallons, 40 gallons? No, about 20 gallons, 25 gallons.
Yeah, most commercial grade lawn equipment's going to be running 10 plus gallon tanks in it. So yeah, you're looking at running that much.
So 10 gallons at $2.08. Right now it's $2.80. Let's say $3.
Don't forget down here, this is cheap gas down
It's
here.
cheaper.
Back where I'm from in Ohio,
It's more.
I think I got to go back home this week, and I think someone said it's like $3.49 or something like that back home.
$3.49. So let's say you're filling up 20 gallons
Think
on,
about the West
on
Coast.
one. Yeah, that's true. The West Coast
Yeah,
is
the West
crazy. $5 a gallon or more. You're saving so much. You're spending what? 15% of what you would with fuel.
And that's before you even get into maintenance.
And that's before you get into the maintenance of the upkeep of the machine, which that's a whole nother ballpark. So just think about it. You guys can be paying these machines off super fast if you were to take the money you would be spending on fuel and put it towards principal on the machine. Maintenance. What is the maintenance on these machines? Belts and
Nope, there's no
No
belts.
belts.
There's no belts.
Nope. So if you take let's just take a 60-inch stand-on. So a 60-inch stand-on is going to have 5 motors. It's going to have one for each wheel, and it's going to have one for each deck spindle. So
Okay.
and all that is
There's 2 wheels that move it, right?
Yep.
Okay. 2 wheels that move it, so and then 3 blades.
Yep.
So those are your five motors.
And then those motors are just going to, it doesn't run off a belt like a traditional gas spindle would. It's just
Okay.
running off a cord.
Okay.
So that cord is just running back to your...
Which is an electrical cord.
Yep.
Okay. So each knife that's cutting each blade has its own motor that spins.
Yes.
So it's a motor pointing downward, spinning. So to take off your blade is what, a nut and a lock washer and
it's a
Yep.
standard blade. We don't run some
Nothing special.
proprietary, fancy. You got to buy our $100 blade. You can buy just about any aftermarket.
and the tires. What are you have tires with air or the airless tires?
You can do either way. So on the front wheels, you can do either a semi-pneumatic, which is your airless tire,
Okay.
or you can do a traditional air tire. Back end, you can do an air tire or a tweel. Tweels gain a lot of traction.
Okay. Guys, think about that. What does maintenance cost? You have to do an oil change. You got to change the air filter, right? All those things. And then also just the belts. Like we have a traditional lawnmower here that the belts are always breaking and there's always something messing up and it's always something. It's always a new day, right? It's always that fun day. So if we were to go electric, we wouldn't have to deal with that anymore.
No. The only maintenance on a battery stand-on is going to be you've got 2 grease points on the front axles. That's it.
Which are for the what? For the wheels?
For the front wheels,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
For the front wheel axle.
So that's the only that and clean, spray it with water, pressure clean underneath to take off all the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Very simple.
it's-
Very simple.
It's
Yeah.
too simple.
Well, and there's even some cool features within that'll save you long-term costs. So again, we're talking about a lot of special technology. We all know Teslas can outdo a Chevy as far as technology. I think the same thing exists. So like our blade motors have technology built into them that if you hit something or you essentially create a larger load
With
that
the
is
blade.
it will shut off your blade motor. So you think about a gas spindle. Gas spindles are going to be a little bit less than our blade motors. I think average is going to be probably about $250 for a blade spindle in a gas unit, whereas our blade motors, I've seen them $350 to $400.
Okay.
But again,
Which is not a big difference
No, not a significant.
for what they are.
Especially when you think about a blade spindle has no technology behind it. So
No
if you
motor.
hit a pipe in the middle of the yard, you're going to break that spindle.
It's not going to shut off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas this is going to shut off, and it's basically going to throw an error code on your dashboard, reset the mower, go back up again.
Okay. Check it. You stop, pull over, make sure everything's good, and then you press.
Yep.
We're good to go. Keep going.
Good to go, keep going.
Okay. And those are easy to change.
Yeah, I mean, think about unplugging a USB port. I mean, it's not a USB.
And a few bolts.
Yeah.
And a
It's
few
not.
bolts. You guys sell only commercial grade stuff.
Through our division, yes.
Through
The
your
company
division.
is going to, we have everything down to residential tools all the way up through commercial. So
Okay.
we focus on the commercial.
Greenworks. This is not your traditional, like, this is not your massive major company that is known. At least it's not known for me that I'm not in the lawn maintenance community.
Sure.
But when I go to buy lawnmowers or if I pop up something, I don't see this. You guys focus on commercial, you guys' division. But what does Greenworks bring to the table versus some of these other brands?
So it's interesting. Well, Erin, you want to?
Yeah, no, I would say the biggest thing that Greenworks brings to the table is the fact that we offer everything. From all of your stick equipment to backpack blowers. We're releasing actually some really, really cool new ones, blowing up to 50 newtons of...
Which is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay.
It's very big. And not only that, we have the big iron mowers. We have the UTVs that we're redoing. We're going to be branching off
you have
into
UTVs?
and we're branching off into robotics. So we really offer and charging solutions. The number one thing when people are switching over from gas to electric is how am I going to charge all this? They might not have the infrastructure for it.
Okay.
Well, don't worry. We have a solution for that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's set up at 220 wherever you're at to get the fastest charging possible. And that way you don't have to go to any anywhere else and pay for one. It's not like a Tesla, right? You can't plug up. Can you plug up? Go to a rapid station and
No,
and
well,
think so,
I don't.
no.
I don't own a Tesla, so I don't believe those have access to a general 220
Okay,
outlet.
yeah,
So
yeah.
no, but like any 220 outlet you can plug
I need
into,
220.
yeah.
Okay, and then so the UTV, that's something cool. Talk
Very
to us
cool.
about that because now that's touching our side of the industry, not just cutting grass. It's also touching people that are doing plant nurseries and other
Yes.
things as that. Talk to us about that. That sounds very interesting.
So I'll preface it by, we talked about being like open, honest, everything like that.
Yes.
We currently have UTVs on the market that are done as a partnership with a separate company. They're called
Okay.
Hyson. They're one of the larger manufacturers of UTVs in the world, both gas and electric space. We're kind of moving away from that partnership towards our own
Your
fully
own stuff.
designed units.
In-house, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so the units you'll see on the market from us right now are going to continue to be those partnered units that we do. We're looking as of now, we're conservatively estimating to be the end of Q2 next year for the launch of our fully
First UTV.
designed ourselves.
Wow.
Which we got to see some pictures about a month ago now. We were out in Tennessee for our internal meetings, and there's some cool stuff coming. Not just your traditional 2-seater, 4-seater, things like that, but some things coming out with the nursery beds and all those kind of things built into the equipment. So more of like your high-end gator units, things like that, that the landscape community is
Okay,
used to seeing.
so something like a John Deere Gator is what we can expect in the UTV space from you guys.
and bigger, yeah.
And bigger.
Yeah.
Which will hold, so it's basically a small unit that holds a lot of weight and it can tow a lot of weight.
Well, and that's where some of I didn't mention, but we had the blower that can fit on the front of a stand, on the front of a sit down. The way that works is it plugs into what we're calling an ETO port. Most people who have been in at landscape for a long time know what a PTO is, power takeoff. They've seen it in tillers and tractors and things like that for years.
We see it in our industry. We
yeah,
use it here.
exactly. ETO,
For
same
attachment.
idea.
So it's
Yes.
electric.
We're going to have
That's
some
what it
of
sounds
those
like?
same
Yeah.
ETO ports available in these utility vehicles. So you think about these landscape trailers that are going out all day. They're sending a crew out with, 3 trimmers, an edger, or 2 blowers, something like that. You're now going to have an ETO port available in that UTV that can charge a caddy. So your full complement of batteries is sitting right there, constantly being charged and being ready to go for that crew. So that crew isn't having to come back to a home base to plug in or to get gas and things like that.
Okay, so now the UTV can be utilized as a charger
Yes.
for everything else. But you guys also have existing charging like coolers, let's say.
That's
Yes,
the
yeah.
caddy,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
And then there's a pretty cool piece of equipment because those can mount into our existing lawnmowers as well.
Okay, so they can mount on it as well to keep. So you're charging while you're using the machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you're a crew chief and you're thinking about, my crew's constantly walking back and forth to fill up the string trimmer, and while they're out there, they got to smoke their cigarette and they got to take the break and they got to. There's a lot of efficiency created by you can send that 3-4 person crew out when they've got that caddy sitting on the front of the stand on, which that caddy is in turn charging off the internals of the battery mower. So you're just having a crew that's constantly able to kind of keep working.
Wow. And then that caddy, can you open it up and interchange batteries?
6 batteries will fit in it. Yep.
Okay. So you can, you're doing your weed eater, and the weed eater's low on battery. You pop out the battery, put it in the caddy, grab the other one that's already charged, plug it up, keep going. So think about refueling too. It's less. It's faster.
Yes.
Everything's faster. And then the speed of it is it the same as like the same RPM range?
Yeah, they're going to be in the same RPM range as any of your gas equipment. Some of it is actually going to be even higher, because you think about, like, we keep coming back to kind of Tesla, because that's what kind of people are used to understanding when it comes to those differences. Think about how much torque is in a Tesla.
A lot.
Same idea exists.
Okay.
So, when you look at the mowers and you look at things like chainsaws, especially chainsaws, a battery chainsaw will outperform a gas chainsaw all day long. You just have to convince that arborist or that tree care guy that he wants to be willing to switch over and look at a battery piece of equipment.
Okay. And I would think even like stopping would be faster too, because what came to my mind now is a video that I saw the other day of a guy falling off of a tree, and he got cut with the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any safety features for an arborist
You
in that equipment?
Go over the inertia brake.
I don't know the super technicalities, but yeah, we do have a new. It's a inertia.
So it's inertia brake that on a top handle saw. The way that manufacturers, for safety reasons, tell you is that saw is supposed to be a two-handed saw. You're supposed to be in that tree and you're supposed to be using one hand or two hands on that saw, cutting.
To cut.
We all know that guys get up in the tree, they'll hold it with one hand, they hold the
they're
branch with
holding on.
the other hand.
Yeah.
Well, what this has in it is as an inertia brake. So if it feels a drastic shift in how that is being used, so if you go like this, it'll stop. It'll stop that. So that's kind of cutting back into.
And that is pretty much instant.
Yes.
Well, that's good. You think about it like me as a business owner. That's what I'm looking at. I want to make sure my guys don't cut their arm off.
Yes.
That's
important.
I don't want workman's comp to. I don't want to call workman's comp.
Think about an entire crew that's just working on cutting out there. Now they can hear each other. There's a lot that you can all communicate. There's things like that. So that's
true. You guys can communicate. You guys have headphones that everyone's talking together at the same time?
Well, you don't need it. That's the thing. That's the beauty, because that's what a lot of guys do right now. Is they have those crews that are trying to run, but usually you have one or two guys that is just communicating through those headphones, things like that. But now you don't need it, because all your crew can hear each other.
All you hear is some wind whipping and the wood getting cut. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Okay, so we talked about the UTVs. We talked about that. One of the ones you guys said robotics. Talk to me about that. What do you mean by robotics?
So there's a lot of people in the industry that think that robotics is kind of the next wave that's coming. So
which robotics would be something that cuts by itself?
Autonomous
mowers. Yes.
Yeah. So they exist in a pretty large capacity right now in the residential space. Europe, believe it or not, sells more autonomous mowers than they do ride-on equipment, because everything over there is a simple little postage stamp lawn that's really easy. So they all set these things up. They run off satellite networks called RTK, and they cut all the lawns over there. Well, the next wave is kind of figuring out how to move that capacity over here, but you need to be able to scale up into the commercial space. You need larger plots of land that can be cut. We know labor is a challenge at times, so we need to have options that basically go past the end user, the end user of the equipment having to be involved.
Okay, which would be what, like someone programming it is what you're talking about?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways they do it. Most of the current iteration of these mowers, you'll basically, these things look like Roombas, right?
Yes.
You're going to use your phone as your programming platform, and you're going to walk that mower where you want it to cut. And you're just you're walking the outline. You don't have to walk the entire, several acres of land. But you're going to walk the outline, and then you can program it no-go zones. You can program it skip this, skip the cart path, go around this retention pond, all that kind of stuff. And then that now has the capacity to go do that on its own after that.
Well, like let's say, does it have sensors that'll stop if there's something
Yes.
too big or?
Yeah, there's a couple different technologies that exist that do that. One of the big ones is called LiDAR. It's basically like a forward-facing camera that has the ability to sense things coming.
Okay, like a ball, someone left a ball.
Yep.
Or if a person's walking, like a drone. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. The drones are very sensitive. Drones are very sensitive. Even if you're flying and you're about to hit a tree, it'll stop itself.
Yes.
Or the ones that do it. Yeah. The ones that do it. Yeah, because that's something that you think about. Like for someone that wants to get into this space, they get autonomous machines instead of starting a business traditionally, and they work their way up one by one by one. They can go get a whole neighborhood and send that off. They pull up to the neighborhood. They take off the machine and they say, all right, go to house 1, house 2, house 3, house 4,
Yeah.
or 5. And now this guy's chilling or he's weed eating while
I
the
think
machine's
that's where
going.
a lot of the future is going to go with
I
a
agree.
lot of this stuff.
I agree.
You guys see that?
Yeah, I think it's still got a little bit of time before you could consider a crew chief really kind of sitting back and watching everything go. But you're
Or just weed eating?
correct, yeah. Well, and that's some of the future machinations is there's companies that want to come up with the way to how do we stick
All at once,
an
yeah.
edger attachment on the side
On
of
the
this
side
thing,
of it.
things like that. There's a couple interesting companies out there that not only have we started working with, but several others in the industry to be able to take their technology platform and mount it onto a stand-on. So then you do have more of a commercial unit that's capable of getting
Wow.
out there and doing a little bit more. So
Okay.
it's getting there. That is definitely going to be the next wave.
Well, I love that, and I love it because there is a lack when it comes to employees, you know. And then it's not just having a body there, a person that can do it. It's actually that person wanting to do it.
Yes.
Because that's the other thing. You can have 10 people on staff, but are all 110% in, or
Sure.
at least 90% in.
Well,
you know?
or have the capability. You know, I know it's just cutting grass, it's things like that, but you can definitely have skills involved when doing that properly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, you gotta be skillful, and you gotta be skillful. You gotta be able to cut it in a specific way, leave it perfect, especially in these high-end neighborhoods. That's really what this equipment's for.
Yes.
You know, you want to be able to come in one time, do it real prim and proper, and do it right. So if you can't find people, because that's the biggest problem we have, especially here in South Florida.
Yes.
If you can't find people to help you do this, then buying equipment that can help you do it would be the only way you can succeed.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the biggest thing. Labor is huge, and there's a big gap right now in that
There
here
is.
Yes.
today in 2025.
At the show we met you guys at, we had quite a few people asking about robotic mowers, and we actually did another show, the National Parks and Recreation, and there was quite a few municipalities just asking about robotic mowers.
There's a big push starting to go that direction for, continual spaces that don't change. Things like that.
Yeah. No, what I see too is that's going to cost a lot more up front. That might be 30 grand for something.
Depending,
You'd
yeah.
be surprised.
You know?
Some of the mowers that are currently existing on the market cost you a lot less than you think.
A lot less, those. But let's say it's 30. You're hiring a person, they're going to cost you 30 or more.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for 1 year. So if this lawnmower can guarantee you 5 years, then think about the savings, guys. The savings is insane.
Yes.
Yeah, your ROI is pretty
The
big.
savings
yeah.
is insane. We've seen it with our Tesla. That was our initial let's go to electric, let's see what happens, and it makes sense for all of our guys to have something like that, and even like the semis. When Tesla comes out with the semis, if we can get some that can travel like a 500 to 600 mile range on a charge, then that's something that we would be interested in getting, because it would save us so much on fuel. We spend a lot of money on fuel.
Well, it's been really interesting, again, coming from the gas space where I was for so long, is when battery equipment first started coming out, and it started smaller in the residential space. The message was all going green, going green, going green. Yes, there are absolutely aspects of a battery piece of equipment that are more green than petroleum and gas. You'd have to acknowledge the fact that you're still mining lithium, though. So
Yeah.
there's definitely trade-offs to be had there.
Yes.
But what's been really interesting over the last few years is the messaging has changed away from going green to the efficiencies and to the cost savings and things like that overall. And it's been really interesting because it's showing that that's the more important thing now.
What is a 60-inch lawnmower costing right now? Something with a good battery that can last 8-9 hours.
If you're going with a 60-inch stand-on and you're going with our larger kilowatt battery, which is our 24, you're going to be right around that $25,000 range,
Okay.
which is a lot. I mean, if you look at a gas equivalent, you're going to be...
Oh, you're going to be in the 15s, right?
Yeah, probably around
16,
that area,
yeah.
$15,000-$16,000.
So you're 8 to 9 over. Okay, but let's do the math. That's why I have this here. So we said that fuel, they're going to be spending, let's say, 20 gallons at $3 is $60 versus $5. So that's a $55 a day. So you have 55 times 5 days. It's 200. Let's say you work only 5 days. It's $275 a week in fuel that it costs more. Now you multiply that by 52 weeks, and that's $14,300 just in fuel versus what electric would be. So the difference, guys, is made up in less than 12 months. You already made up the difference in saving fuel, and you have a monthly payment that we haven't gotten there yet that you can pay over time, and you have 5 years to pay the mower, 3 years to pay the mower, and look what it costs. It costs $14,300 just in fuel to run the one mower.
Yeah, what's nice when you think about the long-term cost savings against financing a mower, that is an interesting thing to think about, because we're finding most guys are very easily paying for their mower and getting the cost realization within 2 to 3 years. Like that's very, very, very common.
2 to 3 years, they're getting their whole mower basically paid for on fuel savings.
They're getting the larger cost up front is more than getting saved.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So all of our big iron mowers, so stand-on, sit-downs, all those are 5-year warranties. And one of the reasons that's really important is a lot of landscapers in the gas space will turn their mowers in 2 to 3 years. And that's really common because that's a pretty common warranty on gas equipment is 3 years.
Okay.
Some of these guys, especially guys starting out, if you're doing a 48 or 60 month financing, you're still paying for that mower when you're out of warranty and getting ready to turn it over.
Or you would need to extend the warranty.
Correct.
Which costs more.
Well, and there's not a lot of guys that are doing extended warranties in commercial. There's a little bit of it, but there's not a lot of it because...
They break.
Exactly. You start getting into that lifespan over that 3-year mark in a lot of commercial equipment. That's when guys are used to turning that over.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of hours they're putting on a machine. It's not like you at home, you buy a machine that lasts 10 years and it looks brand new.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the case.
So with a 5-year warranty, you start financing that for 48 to 60 months, and you still feel a lot more comfortable with that. You still have like that safety net in.
What does something like that cost? Let's say monthly, $500. A machine like you guys, 1,000. It wouldn't be 1,000. It'd be like 800, 700.
Yeah. So it depends. This is where I always like to have my dealers involved, because we all know in this kind of interest rate environment we have right now, money costs money. Like we're not in the 0% interest to get for businesses fees. So most dealers are going to offer you a cash price or a finance price, and they're going to do that based off the fees that are associated for that financing. As a manufacturer, we actually subsidize most of the financing cost for both the end user and the dealer. The dealer does pay a small participation fee in those things. Okay. So to offset some of those costs, since those participation fees have gone up for a dealer, they're probably going to have a cash or a finance price. So it's hard to say for sure. Most dealers are going to kind of say, hey, we used to pay 3% participation fees. Now we're having to pay 6 to 7. So I'll eat the first 3% like I'm not used to being. If you'd like to finance this with us, here's what your financed cost will be. Then we're going to break that down by 60 months.
Okay. Yeah, and it all depends on your credit score and all that fun stuff. So you guys, if someone wanted to reach out and purchase a mower, they wouldn't be reaching out to you guys directly. They will be going through a dealer.
We do both.
You guys do both?
So we work with end users directly, and we work with dealers. Our primary role is to help grow the dealer base, but that involves us being involved every single day with end users. But we will not, as Greenworks, sell you a mower directly.
Yes.
If you call us and like, hey, I want to demo that stand-on, we'll bring the trailer to you. We'll let you play around with the toys. You can see if you love the thing. When you come ready to purchase, we're going to help foster the relationship between you and the closest dealer, and that's where your purchase is going to be.
Okay, that's good. What about the garden center listening? Because one thing, like, since I sell plants and this industry, we're primarily plants, a lot of our product goes to garden centers. Garden centers, they buy a product and they're basically like a big holding area. They buy a little bit from everybody and then they offer everything to their clients. There are garden centers that have still products in their showrooms, like, or a little store.
Yeah.
They could. What would it take for them to get some of your products, or even a lawnmower there to showcase to all their landscapers that come by?
Well,
is there something you guys offer?
Garden
to
centers,
help them?
when we say dealer, that's what we mean.
Yeah, they can become a dealer.
I'm working right now actually on signing up, hopefully, a dealer here shortly that his primary job is in the turf space, but he sees some opportunity actually to kind of work back into the lawn equipment space. So that's really, really common. We'll go through the same series of qualifying questions we will with an end user just from a business perspective. We want to make sure that that dealer has someone who can service equipment properly. That way, if a landscaper stuff goes down, we know it's going to get fixed in a timely manner. We want to make someone wants to embrace our products as strongly as we are. It doesn't necessarily mean we expect you to, I'm going to put 100 lawnmowers in front of you that's cost $25,000
Yeah,
each.
you got to sell them all.
Exactly. That's not what we're looking for business partners, and that's something that's extremely important. I have always said this. I've worked with dealers for the better part of 10 years. And your dealers, your garden centers, those are almost always family-owned businesses. So I have told my dealers that I'm working with to potentially be a dealer, I'm like, hey, you own this business. This is your livelihood. I have a job. If I get fired from my job for some reason, I can go find another job. If you lose your dealership, that's a lot bigger impact in your life. So it is a very, very open conversation with these guys so that we know that everyone's on the same page.
Yes.
Okay, so for them to get to become a dealer, they need to have space to put the equipment. The equipment also needs to, let's say, be stored inside. They got to have a mechanic on site and someone that can attend to whoever comes.
You'd actually be surprised. It doesn't technically require storing inside.
No?
All of our stuff actually is rated to remain
Yeah,
outside.
I know, but you want to have it nice and clean for whoever buys it.
In the showroom, yeah.
In the showroom.
But yeah, that's the majority of what we're looking for to start. And like I said, that we're kind of all on the same page of what the goals are.
Okay. Do you guys, because we never asked, we started talking and we flipped, what is Greenworks? We completely passed that. Do you guys offer something that some of these other brands do not offer?
The biggest thing would be the holistic picture. So Steel offers battery handheld equipment. They offer gas handheld equipment. They've been around forever. They're probably the most known entity in handheld space. They offer one battery ride-on. We build it for them.
Okay.
They don't build it. We build it.
Okay.
So they really are only offering one side of this.
Okay.
Crest, another really popular.
Crest.
They're a growing handheld brand.
And I saw them with a robotic, a big robotic.
They're actually making some decent headway
Like a
there
big
in their
Roomba.
robotic space. Yes. No ride-on equipment.
Oh, they don't have ride-on equipment.
No ride-on equipment.
Okay.
So what we kind of offer that is different than everybody is that holistic solution where you have big iron and small handheld and the gap that bridges it all together with those different charging solutions that exist.
Okay. Do you guys ever come and do like tests,
That's the
test
most
runs?
fun. That's the most fun part.
You do?
Yeah,
You do?
When's
the next one down here in Miami?
Probably realistically because we usually like to do them in conjunction with dealers. Dealers will run them as open houses.
Okay, so dealers are the ones that do that.
We will bring, if you're an end user and you want to try our product, we will bring the Optimus crew trailer decked out to you.
Yeah.
That has a stand down, a sit down, every handheld you want. We even have what's called the Energy Cube, which we haven't gotten to yet. The Energy Cube is basically, imagine a giant power bank sitting on your trailer that you can charge all of your equipment, sit down and handheld, off of that Energy Cube while you're out on the road, and then at the end of the night you just plug in the Energy Cube to charge that up. So we'll bring that whole decked out trailer to anyone that wants to play around with this stuff.
So that can be scheduled out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for any of you guys listening, or if your buddy is, you guys had this conversation one night on the phone, and they're looking for someone that can, they're pressed for time. These guys can set up and schedule for them to go to, let's say they go straight to where you have to cut lawns. They go straight to your HOA, and you can go cut the HOA with what they have, so you can test it out.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So the Power Cube is like, for example, like an EcoFlow or a Blue Eddy or something like that? Is that what that is? Like
It's a base.
Electric generator?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
I always like to refer to it looks like a giant generator, but really, you know, everyone walks around with like little power banks for their phone when they're traveling. It's a giant one of those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I have one in my truck.
Yep.
Too. We have one here that we travel with.
We have an the brand is called EcoFlow.
Okay.
And it can power a whole office.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will have, we sell 2 different energy cubes, one of which can charge your ride-on equipment and your small equipment, and then one that if you just feel like you need a little bit of power to do your handheld, it can be just the half size for just the handheld.
Okay. Yeah, you guys sound like you have everything under control. And what I like about it is that it's commercial.
Yes.
So it's not like you go to Home Depot and you buy a ride-along or a stand-on or a sit-on. That is, it's commercial, you know, with the parentheses, where it's still kind of retail. It's not so heavy duty. I feel like what we saw there at the show felt good. The grip's nice and thick, everything robust.
Well,
you know.
And Erin can relate to this even more than I have because she's been with the company longer than I have. Greenworks has made some major strides in the last 18 months as far as the quality of product.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have tried our product a couple years ago in that like the handheld space and you just didn't feel like it was that true commercial, it's because at that point honestly it wasn't, and it's been some big shifts since then that have really kind of stepped up to the full commercial space.
Within the last 2 to 3 years, we've made leaps and strides towards our products, and the amount of time they put into it, the quality, it is completely different from people that have tried it. I mean, I've met people that have tried our equipment like 5-10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, you need to try the new stuff.
Our CEO
you need to try it.
is extremely passionate about it. Like the product aspect of it from him is by far the most important thing. Like he is extremely passionate, and I got to meet him for the first time, you know, that few weeks ago when we were in Tennessee, and you can see how much it means to him to be successful with true commercial product.
Oh, well, you
It's
think
his
about
life,
it.
yeah.
Well, you think about it in his shoes. I don't know him, right? But I know that if you're giving 5-year warranties, it better last. And then also you're coming in a space that is not saturated, but you're coming in as a major competitor. You want to outperform. You want to outfeel everyone else. And it's not so much about, let's say, making money today. It's about creating that relationship, that brand awareness, and that trust today. Okay, so whatever it takes, let's do it. And we'll figure out the profits later. I'm assuming that he wants to win in that space.
Yeah.
That way he can become very strong over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, Greenworks as a company is actually one of the largest buyer of battery cells in the world.
Wow.
So whether it's through our own product lines, 24 volt, 40 volt, 60 volt, 80 volt, all the way up to the 82 commercial, like obviously we're a large purchaser there. We subcontract build for quite a few people in the residential space. So like you touched on the fact that we're not necessarily a hugely known company, but people don't realize how much they've probably in some capacity already touched our products.
Yeah, it's all it's all the branding.
Yep.
It's all the names. You guys are incognito in a lot of these other brands, which does that. Look at these facilities. These are you guys' facilities?
So we're based in North Carolina.
Okay.
Production facility in Tennessee. And then we have regional support centers.
Okay.
One of which being down here in Orlando.
Okay. So that's like a main distributor is Orlando?
So the Florida market is a very, very big focus for the
Our Orlando service center, it's basically meant to have our service techs working out of it, and they support our dealer network. So it's not a warehouse yet. They're working towards maybe making it a warehouse where we can keep equipment and ship stuff out of there. But as of right now, it's mainly meant to house a training facility for service techs, and we also we actually just did dealer meetings last week, taking all of our dealers up there, showing them what we have going on, and pretty much just like almost like a showroom facility.
It's creating some really big infrastructure in what we consider the key markets for the company.
Well, that builds confidence.
Yes.
You know, that builds confidence in the dealers and also people that are purchasing this stuff.
Yes.
You know, they want to know that that they're going to get backed with whatever. They don't want to, call somebody and no one answers. They want to believe you guys. No, this is crazy. And you guys have also attachments that collect all the
baggers,
so
blowers.
Grass catchers, they're not used as much down here in the south, but in the northeast, everyone bags everything. And that, again, So it's really common in commercial space. You need what's called a power assist bagger. You need it to be able to have the ability to have an impeller fan that helps you propel that grass through the tubing system to the back. Most of them are going to run a belt drive system, so it's an additional belt that'll run over to the engine, and that's how you're powering the
like a
system.
PTO type of thing,
Yes.
but with a belt.
This is going to run off that ETO port. So again, you're creating less potential things that can break.
Less maintenance.
Yes.
Yes.
No, this is insane. And look, here's the UTVs. They look really nice.
Yeah.
That bright green. You guys have so much, man. We're going to have to continue to look into all this. I know for us guys in our side of the industry, in the plant world, lawnmower is something definitely, my next lawnmower. I will definitely be reaching out to you guys.
No.
Just because I don't
bring
want
down some toys to
I'm
play
tired
with,
of tired of it always breaking down. Even though it's a newer machine, there's always something, and it's always a $20 part.
Yes. Yeah, there's it's just so many more moving pieces that are capable of breaking.
Yeah, and then like for me, the only thing would be is educating the person that has been driving the regular lawnmower for 15, 20 years.
Well,
Yes.
what's nice is there's not a huge learning curve going from a gas piece of equipment to a battery piece of equipment. They feel a little bit different in your lap bar controls, just a little tiny bit, not much. But if you're capable of driving a gas piece of equipment, you're not going to feel any difference running over to battery. What's cool with ours is in both blades and the drive motors, you have variable speed. So what that creates in the blade, let's start with the blades, is let's say you're cutting a manicured football field. You know you're only cutting an inch because you're cutting that every week. Turn your blade speed all the way down to the lowest blade speed, which is still above the 15,000. It's still 15,000 plus RPMs, which is what you need to have. But think about how much more battery you're going to save compared to turning it up to the highest blade speed when you got to go brush hog the back field that you do once a month.
Okay, so this is just educating the operator on, hey, let's try to save. This is how you save battery. It's a different look.
It's a
different.
lot of. I don't want to say it's necessarily customizing because but it's different functionality of the machine.
Yeah, so it could last longer if the operator is using it properly.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Going from gas, from all that noise and vibration to something that's just
So quiet.
smooth.
Yeah, freaks you out.
You know, well, that's
Yeah.
shocking. To a lot
That's
of people,
shocking.
too.
Well, it's amazing how quiet they are. I tell a funny story all the time, and this is from my previous employer, but it was still a battery piece of equipment. When I was up in Ohio, I had the luxury of kind of working towards a different company's corporate office up there, and they had a really nice lake. And all the employees during the day would walk around the lake, get out, get some nice fresh air, all that kind of thing. And we did testing at that facility. And the testers used to think it was hilarious because they'd sneak up on people on the battery mowers and then zip by them.
Freak out.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, you don't
I
even hear
mean,
it.
that's how quiet they are.
Yeah. That's insane. I kind of want to go test it.
Are you guys also considering maybe, are you guys strictly electric or are you guys also considering different alternatives? Because I know alternative power is a big talk in it. And now
In the car industry, we see
in
it.
the car industry especially.
Like a little
Are you guys
generator.
considering maybe like hydrogen stuff or anything that could be, or just strictly electric? For now?
I would be surprised. I mean, who knows? Like I said, our CEO is so incredibly creative. It wouldn't be surprise me if he's coming up with something. But what we know is it's going to be strictly in the
perfect.
battery
You guys
space.
are strictly battery
Yeah.
space. Perfect.
No, and then they don't need, since they have batteries that are so powerful and that last more than a whole day, they don't even need, let's say, like a hybrid style, which will be like what we see in cars to get more miles. Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah. You just gotta be on top of your stuff. You can't be, you have to charge it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like you have to fill up your gas cans.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you don't fill up your gas cans, you're not going anywhere.
No, I know, but
the
with
next day.
gas, if you forgot, you can go to the gas station and fuel up. If you forgot to charge, baby.
Yeah, you might
That's
be.
true.
About your guys.
What is pretty cool though, with Greenworks specifically, because people will bring up a lot about like I've only got one circuit, I can only do this, and what happens if it blows and I wake up and nothing's charged. They have so many different charging options to help you kind of fit your building rather than making your building fit the equipment. You know,
Okay.
there's some smart distribution systems. They're called TOA. We partner with them and we sell a unit that you can get that's what it does is it'll sense the load capacity that's able to come out of the circuit that you're plugged into, and use that to know how much they can charge each individual battery at each given time, and you can plug in several of these at one time.
Okay. And that stops, let's say, a breaker from popping.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
If a wire gets too hot.
Yep.
That's very interesting. You guys have anything else you want to say? Or add? No? We have one thing that we ask everybody. What do you see for the future of your side of the green industry?
I think battery's going to continue to grow. It's becoming more and more normal
And
to see.
Yes.
More accepted.
More accepted.
Yes.
Way more accepted.
Yes. Now you see it. So when battery first started getting out there, you saw early adoption happen kind of where it was being forced. California was always big. You saw it getting picked up a little bit in like Minnesota, where you saw kind of politics and legislature pushing it just as much as you did the product itself. But that's kind of moved away a little bit, and you're seeing more and more of the adoption for some of the reasons that we talked about efficiency and noise and things like that. So I do think that you're going to see this continue to grow. You know, it'll be interesting to see how robotics plays into it, because obviously that's taking away the need for users more, but that's going to be something you see grow as well.
Yeah. And you?
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I mean, I've been doing battery equipment for 2 or 3 years now, and I will say within the last 2 or 3 years, the conversation has shifted. So I think battery is going to do nothing but grow.
You see it growing. A big thing that's important is the dealer base is the backbone of the industry, especially when you get to commercial cutters. Those guys are used to having very, very important relationships with their landscaper to dealer users. So there is a very aging population in dealers right now, with not necessarily as much succession planning for the future of that dealership. So a lot of the either younger ownership or just better planned out dealerships, you're seeing that adoption a lot higher in battery too, because they kind of are able to see a little bit farther into the future.
Okay. No, I like it. And I think robotics, I know that it takes away from the user. I mean, from having employees, but I do feel that it can work, you know?
It can. I think that with you're already seeing the fact that you're having labor shortages. So it's not like you're trying to take jobs away. You're trying to fill something you're already struggling
That
with.
we're struggling with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I see a big thing in it. And then once that becomes more normal, it'll be a big cost savings for the company. You know, you hire a IT tech guy is now your lawn crew manager.
Yeah.
And he shows up with the trailer, opens the doors, and these things fly out.
Well, that's the craziest part. We didn't really touch on if you actually have a problem with our mowers, but that's what happens is you bring a laptop with a set of cables that plugs into the back of the mower, and it tells you everything that's wrong. Like that's how it works.
And with one wrench, you can unbolt everything and bolt up
Pretty
new
much,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple. Well, guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you so
us.
bless
much
you
for
guys.
having us down here.
Yes, thank you. Guys, if you have any questions for them, reach out. All their info is going to be in the bio. If you're watching it, if you're listening to it on a podcast, we thank you guys. This is going to be something new and improved. You guys have more stuff that come down the pipeline later on. We would love to interview you guys
absolutely.
again.
Yeah,
We'll get when our UTVs come out. We'll get one down here for you to play around with on the nursery.
We would love that
Yeah.
and mower, and we'll put all this stuff on Instagram so you guys can watch it and we can learn more together about how the industry is moving. So evolving. So guys, God bless you. Stay tuned for the next one. You know it's going to be fire.
Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Only scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.